1. I can't go anywhere without guards. It's something that kinda sucks. One of my guards is a stickler for the rules and doesn't let me do anything I want to do because it's unsafe. The other is fun to be around and always tell the other guard if it won't kill him, why the fuck not, before getting punched by the other guard. They're brothers, twins to be more exact, and they normally get along great until they disagree. Then that's another story. Anyway, I'm currently watching them train in the training area my parents gave them. It's not fair. They get to train while I have to sit and watch. It's so boring being a spectator. I want to be a participant. My entire family is full of warriors, able to bend the laws of reality to their will. Then there's me, the disappointment. I have the same power, but no one alive is able to teach me to use it, meaning I have to be guard. Why not learn to fight? Can't. Why? I break bones easily, from what my parents said, even though the last bone I broke was my pinky after slamming it in a carriage door hard enough to crack the bone. It's ridiculous. Hey, acronix? Can I join in? I asked. No, Crux replied. Hey, he asked me. And after this round, I'll go against you. He told me with a smile. No, you won't. Our job is to ensure he doesn't have to fight. And an argument that will last long enough for me to sneak a training sword and figure out how to use it. I got up and went there, but I soon couldn't move. God damn it, Crux. And as for you, you're not going to try to sneak off again. He let me go and I went back to my spot and pouted. I really hate you, I told Crux. Huh, I'm his favorite, Acronix stated proudly, sitting by me and pulling me into his side. For now, I told him. Crux chuckled a bit. I glared at Crux and shoved Acronix a bit. Brother, come on. We need to keep training, Crux told him. I said I would teach him to use a sword after that round. Acronix stated, and you don't want me to break a promise, would you? And he's using his brother's hatred of broken promises against him. Crux will always keep his word and get on others about keeping their word. His brother gave him a glare so heated, it could have set Acronix on fire. Well, until he realized his brother wasn't fazed. 10 minutes, the wooden sword's made of softwood, and if he wears armor anywhere he could bruise, with a helmet. Crux stated, and I ran to the weapons shed. I grabbed a training sword, a helmet, and a chest plate, and went back out and saw the Crux wasn't around. Where did Mr. Grumpy go? I asked Acronix. To get us some lunch. Acronix stated, he'll be back in about 30 minutes. Perfect, I told him, and he gave me tips as we sparred, and by the time Crux got back, I was able to hold my own long enough to keep me alive, just in case I get separate from the time twins. I said 10 minutes. Crux wasn't happy. Hey, even I can lose track of time. Acronix stated, not the time for jokes. When a Sparta show, it wasn't a waste of time? I asked Crux. Unlike my brother, I actually care about your safety. Hey, why do you think I taught him to use that? So, in case we get separated, he can hold his own until we can get to him. And if we do our job right, that won't be necessary. And in case you forgot, we're human. We can make mistakes. And if we make a mistake we can't reverse, he will need to be able to keep himself alive long enough for us to finish off the threat. Can I get my say in the matter? I asked. Yes. No. They told me at the same time. Acronix said yes and Crux said no. Too bad. My entire family is that of warriors. Yet I'm stuck being a defenseless disappointment. I'm going to learn to at least defend myself, and there's nothing you can do to stop me, Crux. And if my father is against it, have him kill me himself, because I'm going to die anyway if I can't defend myself. Got it? I was getting up in Crux's space. He's a quick learner and didn't let me get a single hit on him anywhere but the chest plate. Acronix stated. Besides, he's got the spirit of a warrior. It shouldn't take more than 3 or 4 years to get him to hold his own against us for more than 10 minutes. I glared at Acronix for that one. We could get fired for teaching you to fight. And I will take the heat from my father if I'm taught to fight and you don't hold back. I already know Acronix won't. He was glared at by Crux. What? A sparring match is a sparring match, brother. The only difference is that I gave him tips to make the match not end in 3 seconds. Fine. He told me and I went to attack Acronix, but was quickly put into a chokehold and unarmed. And rule number 1, don't just attack without a plan. Crux stated. Well, at least I won't be bored anymore. So that's a good thing. 2. Training with my guards is kind of fun. More so Acronix than Crux, cause he's not afraid to hurt me and all, but fun nonetheless. I'm currently against Crux, and he's not being of any help at all while Acronix is giving me tips, and also I can actually learn. And you would be dead if this were a real sword. Crux stated as he jabbed my stomach in the plate covering it. And in the real world, this armor would be too heavy, meaning you would only have the helmet and sword, so you would either have to take the sword from the opponent to keep you from bleeding out too quickly, or you can accept the fate of death if you're unable to. And he used the sword to jab my chest and push me off balance. And work on your balance. Falling on your ass in a battle can be fatal. How? I asked. Because it gives you opponent the high ground and a good angle to sweep their sword and nick you head clean off your head. And I felt a sword tap my neck from behind. Acronix. Noted. I stated and Acronix offered a hand to help me up. I took it and my father called for me. We went, and when he saw I was in armor and holding a practice sword, he was furious. Crux. Acronix. Why is he dressed like he was in a battle? My father demanded, not at all happy. We were teaching him to be able to hold his own for the off chance we get separated. Crux stated, he's a natural. Acronix added as he pulled me into his side. Acronix has no sense of personal space and is affectionate to everyone he's close to and is childish. Crux is the opposite and is the mature one out of the two. Give me one good reason why I should fire you two right this moment. I ordered them to. If you're going to be mad at anyone, be mad at me. I ordered them because you said that they have to follow my orders right. My father sighed in exasperation. We need to have a talk on what I meant by that. And your mother is home. Take that off or she will fire your guards and find you new ones. I nodded and handed the armor and sword to Crux, and he went to put it away while Acronix accompanied me to greet my mother. She travels a lot for a living and always brings back exotic items and sweets. Ah, Wen, it's so nice to see you again. You grew so much since my last visit. And Acronix, you finally grew yourself a bit of a beard. I thought you would have a baby face forever, because I stopped shaving. He told her through grit teeth. Sure, keep telling yourself that. She pat his cheek. Now, I swore you had a brother. Where is he? Cleaning up the training yard. He lost this morning's sparring matches, so he gets to clean up. He stated, making up a lie on the spot. He's good at it, Crux, not so much. I see. Come now. I think it's time Wen starts training as a warrior. My mother stated, Dana, are you sure about that? He doesn't even have the powers your grandmother had. My father stated, he does. Somewhere in him. I know it. Now, Acronix, how much do you know about the elemental powers? She asked. I know that me and Crux got ours from our father, Kronos, and that we have mastered ours. We also know there are others like us out there, but with other powers. Why? I had both you and Crux be his guards because of your experience as warriors and your elemental powers. He's got a very rare power inside him that my ancestors used to shape the world around us to our will and bring what we imagine into it. The elemental power of reality. How, exactly, is that powerful? It doesn't sound powerful. Acronix stated, "It is very powerful. My grandmother was condemned to a life with Vengestone keeping her powers at bay due to her bringing forth what shouldn't have existed in the first place. You know of a place called Hiroshi's Labyrinth, right? Yeah, it's a dense jungle no one is able to leave. My grandmother created it in the place of a desert, and used plants no one has ever seen before it was created. Some say she found a way to bring them from a different realm just by using her powers. She told him, and his jaw dropped. If she wanted, she could have ruled over all of Ninjago." I stated, and I was smacked by my mother. That's the kind of attitude that gets you nothing but a painful death. She told me as we got to the yard, "Crux, it's been so long. And how could you let your baby brother beat you?" She asked. She favors Crux. "I'm only older by 3 minutes, and after a 6-hour war over who got to be born first." Crux stated, and he managed to get the upper hand this time around. He caught onto what Acronix told her. "Anyway, you two are going to start training when?" He would be disgraced if it was heard that he was the only one in the family that's not a warrior. And who knows? Maybe his powers will be jump-started by it. She told them, "What if we told you we were already training him?" Acronix asked, "I would give you 2 arrays for reading my mind." Yeah, they've been training me after I got sick of being bored. I told her. She wasn't amused it wasn't their idea, but accepted it. "Show me what you've learned." She told me, and against Acronix. "Crux, get him a helmet and a sword. A real one. We've been training him with the wooden ones." Acronix stated as Crux went to do as told. So he wouldn't get hurt? Our job is to keep him safe. He told her. From other people, you have the full right to knock him around to teach him how to fight. My mother told him. Besides, a real sword will give him more encouragement to keep his sword between yours and his body. When I was finally knocked to the ground, my mother was impressed while Crux was looking stressed. "Well done. You have taught him well. Could use some work though. He's a natural and a quick learner." It took me and Crux 2 months to get to that point. Because our mother kept father from training us while trying to kill us. Crux stated, Yeah. Details. Acronix stated as he sheathed his sword. "Welp, now they're actually getting paid to train me at least. So that's a goose thing." 3. It's been a few months since Crux and Acronix have been officially training me with my mother's approval, and, well, my powers have actually surfaced. I'm currently using it on Acronix's hair off of his request to look like he's got wolf ears. I finished when his brother came back. "I leave you two alone for 5 minutes." "What?" "Jealous," Acronix asked as the ears actually twitched. I hugged him with a smile while laughing like a child. "Hardly. And why wolf ears?" Crux asked me. He wanted them, and they are adorable on him. I pat Acronix on the head, and they moved with my hand. "And you did a good job, Wen." Acronix told me, "You need to take your powers seriously, Wen. Like you who totally doesn't use them to freeze time to sneak into a strip club?" Acronix asked. "That was one time." Crux defended. "Yeah, once a week." Acronix shot back. "And how would you know?" Crux asked. "Your powers don't affect my like mine don't affect you. And unlike you, I pay for a show." I gave them weird looks. "What?" "We make good money looking after you." We can afford to blow some of it on a show we can jerk off to. The weird look is for you two ended up at the same club on the same days. Wait, that's where you two go every Friday? I asked. Yeah, Crux stated. Why? Isn't that Omega night? I asked with a shit-eating grin. They get male Omegas 99% of the time. I snuck there once and saw it. Crux denied it. Well, they're cute, but I know someone cuter. Acronix stated. He was smacked by his brother. After a while more of practicing with my powers, someone was lead into the sparring yard, and I made what was created by my power go away as Crux and Acronix were wrestling around. Are you the master of time? One of the men asked me as they got closer. Why? Who's asking? I asked, and I was tackled away from them by Acronix while Crux used his sword to keep them at a distance. Why were you that close to our charge? Crux demanded. We were asking if he was the elemental master of time. The other man stated, Imwu and my brother is Garmadon. We're trying to being the elemental masters together, and we're on the element of time currently. The blonde one stated, then that would be me and my brother currently. Crux stated as Acronix let me go, but kept me behind him as he stood next to Crux. Two elemental masters of the same element? The brown-haired one asked. He wolf be Garmadon. Like the hands on a clock, there's two of them. I chimed in. Indeed. And why are you bringing all the elemental masters together? Crux asked. We fear there might be a war coming soon. A war with the Serpentine. Wu stated. And we will be needed every elemental master to have even a slim chance of defending Ninjago. Garmadon stated. Especially time. We will be able to have a leg up on them that way. Even if we wanted to join you, we already have a charge we're being paid to protect. So, if you want us, you will have to negotiate with his parents to bring him along too. That would put him in the middle of a war. Wu stated, and I have had countless people try to kill me as it is. Why do you think I have guards? My chances of survival actually increase in a war zone while they decrease going to a bookstore. I told him. He's not exaggerating. Crux stated, just this morning we kept 3 bandits from trying to kill him. Acronix told them. So the 3 of us are a package deal until we're fired. Woo, you go talk to them. Garmadon stated, why me? I convinced the Master of Earth, Lightning, Shadow, Fire, and Water. It's your turn. Acronix tackled Crux, and they got back to sparring, and Garmadon spoke with me. Why would you need guards? He asked. That little detail is a well-kept secret. I told him. Mind sharing it? He asked. I promise the secret will be safe with me. In the elemental master of reality. I can control what already exists and bring into existence what shouldn't exist. I told him as I turned a rock into a ruby. I'm guessing this is where my family's wealth came from. I chuckled a bit as I turned it back. He had a look of utter awe on his face. No wonder you need guards. I know a lot of people who would want that kind of power to themselves, and for the wrong reasons. Yeah, I do too. All tried killing me when they couldn't convince me to be on their side. You can't fight? He asked. I can kind of fight. They're teaching me. I can kind of hold my own against them for a few minutes, but that's not much of a feat, I told him. They're skilled warriors, right? Yup. The very best in this half of Ninjago. I told him. But they always hold back when training me. Why I said it's not much of a feat and Crux won. Come on. You didn't say we could use our powers. You're a cheat. Acronix whined. Stop whining and accept the loss. Crux told him. The best, huh? Garmadon asked. They may not act like it that often, but they're the best this half of Ninjago has to offer. Why my parents hired them to begin with. When? Tell Crux he's a cheater. He's right. You never specified that you could use your time powers. That means it's assumed no powers will be used, making you a cheater. I told him. We don't have to be your guards, you know. Crux told me, kinda pissed in siding with acronix. And my parents don't have to pay you a large sum of money every other week. I told him as I stood up and grabbed the sword and helmet from acronix and got into a battle position. And not until you put on a cheat plate. Come on. I'm not a little kid. I can take a hit or two. Let him learn the hard way, brother. It might be the only way to get it into his hard head. After a while of sparring with Crux, Wu came back and spoke with Garmadon. He can join you too, Garmadon told us. And I managed to trip Crux, allowing me to win. Congrats. You got a lucky break. He told me as I helped him up. Admit it. I'm getting better. I told him proudly. It's only improvement if you can repeat it 3 times in a row. And you actually got his parents to let him join. Crux asked them as we kent over. Yes, I did. And you're an elemental master as well. Wu asked me. Yes, a very powerful one. Why he needs guards. Acronix stated, if he's powerful, wouldn't he be able to take care of himself? Wu asked, what they mean is that I have the potential to be very powerful. I only started being able to use my powers a few days ago, so until I am able to take care of myself, I need these two to keep me alive. I explained. So when do we leave? Acronix asked. As soon as possible. The sooner we have all the elemental masters, the better. I took off the training armor and helmet and went to pack with acronix joining me while Crux continued to chat with them. And yes, I can't go anywhere without Crux, acronix, or both. I have been ambushed while trying to shower before, so it's not rooted in paranoia rather than realistic precaution. When we got to where they wanted us to go, it was an ancient-looking monastery. Nah, I've been to worse places. That's it? Acronix asked, and his brother smacked him before I could. It's more than what it seems like. You can continue training, and with others as well. Wu stated as he led us to our rooms. Crux and Acronix shared one, and I shared one with a broad, black-haired man with facial hair and tan skin. Who are you, kid? He asked, not looking up from his book. The name's Len. You. I asked. He looked up. It's Alder. And you don't seem like an elemental master. And you don't seem like a friendly person. I told him, snarkily. He chuckled a bit, setting his book in his lap. I like you, kid. You've got spirit. He told me. Ray, Maya, and Lana gonna love you. Hope you can hold your own. I can. Don't worry. I was trained by the 2 best warriors in the southern half of Ninjago. I told him as I put my suitcase under my bed. There was 2 beds in here, so I put mine under the only bed with dust. And if you're all talk, Lana will make sure everyone knows about it. She talks a lot? I asked. She's the master of lightning. Of course she talks a lot. And fast, I'm guessing? Oh yeah, he told me. And Acronix opened the door and saw Alder. Who are you? Acronix asked as he grabbed me and put me behind him, grabbing his sword. Alder, the elemental master of Earth. You, he asked, not at all fazed. One of the elemental masters of time. That got his attention. One of. He and his brother are twins and split the powers. I explained. And you don't need to worry about my safety while here. I grabbed him by the hair cause it was the only thing I could grab and dragged him out. Hey, low blow. Not the hair. Low blow. Ow! Fuck. And I let him go. Sorry about that, but it's what I could grab first. He a guard of yours or something? I am one of his guards. What's it got to do with you? He asked. What are you, some rich kid? He asked me, smirking. Oh, shut up. Brother, leave Wen to actually get to know his roommate. For now, let's go to the yard. He'll live without us for 30 minutes. And Crux grabbed Acronix by the hair. What have we talked about the hair? So those two are the masters of time? Yep. I call them the Time Twins. I told him as I grabbed the blanket on my bed and dusted it off. Alder chuckled at that. So are you an elemental master, or are you just their charge? He asked. I'm an elemental master. Just not a master quite yet. I stated as I put the blanket back and did the same with the pillow. And did they ever dust in here? I asked. Not once. Didn't think I'd have a roommate, so I didn't dust your bed. He told me. I nodded. And what element do you control? He asked. It's in my best interest to keep that small detail to myself. I told him as I flopped on my new bed. Uh-huh. And I'm guessing you're used to having your own room that's twice this size. He asked. My room was half this size. I told him. But I can get used to a roommate and a larger room. And why don't I believe you? Don't believe me. That's your choice. I told him and got up and went to explore the monastery. It's going to be my home. I might as well learn its layout. 4. It's been about a month since we got to the monastery, and I like it here. There's tons of training equipment, and Alder's become a friend. He's got a wife and a daughter he writes to every day and receives little kid doodles and letters every day. And he should not be underestimated. He's very strong, and I have the bruises to prove it. I'm currently training with acronix today. He's a very helpful teacher. He explains stuff as he does it for me to learn from. Block, block, block. You're dead. He told me, and he blocked my attacks and tapped my shoulder by my neck with his sword to prove a point. Again. He told me. We went at it again, and when he used his powers, I saw where he went and turned with him to block his attack and even managed to get him to the ground, pressing my sword against his neck. How did you? He wasn't even sure what happened. I don't know. I just saw you moving really fast, and I don't know how. Normally, you just disappear and reappear somewhere else. I was still sitting on his stomach, just as freaked out. Maybe your powers make you immune to ours? He asked. Maybe, but it's never happened before. I told him. Maybe more gets uncovered the more you master your element? Maybe. Crux. He was reading and on the roof. He goes there when he doesn't want to be bothered. What do you need? He asked. We need a third opinion on something. Acronix told him, sitting up, which moved me to his lap. I'm too freaked out to care right now. What? He asked as he got off the roof. We explained the situation at the same time. That does sound difficult to understand. It could be like my and Acronix's powers. The more we mastered ours, the less we were affected by each other's side of it, and the more we noticed the passage of time. But the more you master yours, the less all other elements affect you. Maybe, but it's still freaky. And are you going to get off my lap, or are you comfy? Acronix asked with a smirk. My face heated up as I slid off his lap. I'm sure if you didn't say anything, he could have been your lap warmer for longer. Crux stated. I hate you. I told Crux. Sure you do. Crux told me as he went back to his reading spot. I got up and helped Acronix up. I think that's enough battle training. Let's try to get your elemental abilities mastered. He told me. I nodded and tried, but I couldn't focus enough to do much. Just twist the training equipment to look like noodles. You've improved. Crux stated from the roof. He speaks the truth. Just a month ago, you were only able to alter the appearance of things slightly, or turn one thing into another of equal size. But now, you can do so much more than you could before. Acronix stated as he hugged me into his side. I like his affection. It's comforting and actually nice. I laughed a bit as he ruffled my hair. Come on, knock it off. I laughed as I struggled to get out of his grip. Not until you realize how far you've come. He told me. I managed to get free and he chased me around the yard, me warping my surroundings to slow him down until he tackled me, us laughing. Acronix. When? Lunch is ready. Maya shouted to us. So Ray cooked today. He's a good cook. I kicked Acronix off of me and ran past her, thanking her for letting us know. And where's your brother? She asked Acronix. The roof. Brother. Lunchtime. When I was trying to figure out more of my abilities, Lana came out. Whoa! Looks like a limp noodle party. And Acronix laughed at that. Am I missing a joke here? Oh, you're such an innocent child. She stated while Acronix was laughing to himself. It's an orgy where every guy is limp. Acronix stated, and my face heated up. I could have lived without that knowledge, but his powers are impressive, aren't they? That's an understatement. What's your element anyway? I know it's not earth or anything like that, so what is it? She asked. If he told you, you would have to cut out your tongue to keep the secret. Lightning mouth. Hey, I can keep a secret. My fiancé's identity, for one. If people found out who he was, I would be harassed for autographs from him. So a movie star? I asked. And I've said too much. She stated. Judging by your personality and the stuff you look at, I would say it's Flint Gordon, the main actor who plays Fitz Donegan in the Starfarer movies. I stated. How did you know that? She asked. Nothing can get past him. He managed to find out my and Crux's father's name the day we met him. His name was Cronus, and judging by the way the Time Twins act, he was an abusive dick. I stated, it doesn't take a detective to figure that out. She told me as I put everything back to its original state. 5. It's been a few months since I have been gaining more control over my powers, and a while since the war between Serpentine and the surface, and it's a current peaceful patch of time. Crux is using this time to train with Acronix, while I'm just trying to relax for once. It's been so long since I have had some time to just relax. I'm currently trying to read in the shade, just outside the monastery. Well, I was until the mail guy came. I'll let the others know you're here. I told him after he handed me a package from my mother and a package from my father. I opened the doors and announced it to the twins first. Mail time. I told them before going inside. When I got back out, I saw that Crux and Acronix got a shared package that had 2 caped in it that was cut from the same cloth. I'm guessing a present from your mother's? I asked them. Yes. Mother tends to make us gifts whenever she has time on her hands. Crux stated fondly as Acronix put his on like a giddy kid. You haven't opened yours yet? Acronix asked as he saw I haven't opened my mail yet. Knowing my parents, my mother sent me something she found on her travels, and knowing my father, he sent me a book. I told them. I opened them and lo and behold, a trinket and a book. They grabbed the trinket. Hey, I complained. Do you know what this is? Crux asked as he handed it to his brother, who clicked a button and was gone for a minute before returning. Before humans gained elemental powers, they were stored in objects. This being the one for time, as Acronix demonstrated. Okay, that's cool. I grabbed it back. And that's the only watch in the world that's 100% accurate 100% of the time, so it's got multiple uses. Acronix stated. And don't use it unless it's an emergency. It kind of fucked with my powers. He tried to use his, but couldn't do very much. Crux tried too, and could only stop his brother for 3 seconds. Only in an emergency. Crux agreed. I nodded and pocketed it and saw which book my father sent me this time. If it's not my taste, I let Alder read it. He reads basically anything you give him. Also, how do you know what that watch was? I asked. Used to belong to our father, Crux stated, until we took it from him and chucked it off a mountain after setting it to a random time. He explained it to us, how it worked, and how every element has a vessel in which it used to be contained in strictly. They were passed down like heirlooms until elemental powers took root in humans. Acronix stated, the only lesson of his that actually was interesting, and the only one you actually paid attention to, and Crux was shoved by his brother. They can get along great, or they can argue. There's rarely an in-between. Well, considering there's no scratches on this, I would say this is damn near indestructible. More or less. Crux stated as I connected the chain to my belt loop. Anyway, I'll be in my room if you need me. I told them bringing the book my dad sent. For once, it's actually something I found interesting. 6. It's been a few days since my mom sent me the Vessel of Time. It's really interesting. And today, I figured something out. While the watch is on my person, I can open portals. Walked through one and ran into Acronix and almost fell in my ass. He caught me. Where did you come from? He asked. I have to show you something cool. I told him after I realized I wasn't imagining things. I opened a portal to the bottom of the stairs that lead to the monastery and shoved him through before stepping through myself. You can open portals? He asked, just as amazed as me. Only while this is on me, though. I told him, showing the watch. He hugged me. That's so cool. Let's show Crux. I opened a portal and we went through and managed to scare Crux. Don't sneak up on me like that. You know better than anyone. He told Acronix. He made the portal. That got Crux's attention. You expect me to believe when, who's still learning to use his powers, made a portal? But I did. See? I made one to their room and Acronix pushed us through. See, brother? His powers are incredible. No wonder people were after him. With that kind of power, one could control the world. Yeah, my mother told me that those with that mentality will wind up with nothing. I told him, and he is right. Those who try to take his power for themselves wound up without a life. Because they were trying to kill our charge. And an argument. At least I'd treat him like my charge and not my M-dash, and Acronix covered his mouth. Now I'm intrigued. Say it, and I will be an only child. Acronix stated, it's a subtle threat of killing his brother. Say what? I asked, hoping to get him to slip what he wanted to keep hidden. Crux bit his hand. Don't you dare. He treats you like a mate rather than a charge. Why do you think he's so affectionate with you when he's not normally an affectionate person? And he was punched in the face by Acronix. My face heated up a bunch. No one's really ever treated me like a mate, even before I got guards. No one even really liked me much. My brother is a liar. Ignore what he says. Acronix told me as he put his brother in a chokehold. I am not a liar, Crux stated. I made a portal under me to my room and was thankful Alder wasn't there. He's currently spending the week with his family. He figured he would while he could. I'm not against Acronix treating me like a mate. Rather the opposite. I kinda like the idea. We've kinda just always been on the same wavelength, even when we first met. And we met when I was 10. They were 15 at the time and had been looking for a job cause they didn't want to burden their mother without helping her out. Even on the first day, Acronix would always play with me and was always kind. And as we got older, the affection just came stronger and stronger from him. But I always thought he just saw me as a younger brother, and the more I think about it, the more I like the idea. I know I shouldn't. him being paid to be my guard and all, but I do. I guess it was a guilty pleasure of his wrapped in a secret. And after a while, someone knocked on the door. I stood up and opened it. It was Acronix. "We need to talk," he told me, rubbing the back of his neck. "And guessing about what Crux said?" I asked. "Yeah." I let him in and sat on my bed, patting the spot in front of me. He opted to stay standing. About what he said. "I kinda have been treating you like a mate, and I'm sorry." I didn't mean to. It kinda just felt right. I didn't mind though. I told him. "I actually like your affection." "It's nice." "You do?" he asked, actually shocked at that. I nodded. "Would you like to go out with me?" I asked. It looked like he was processing what I asked before hugging me, a huge grin on his face, before kissing me. I'ma take that as a yes. 7. It's been ages since me and Acronix got together, and a few months since I split from the Alliance. My parents were killed a few months ago, so I had to return home. I didn't tell the twins where I went, because I didn't want to drag them into it. I'm currently in a barren yard, turning it into the garden I always wanted, filling it with plants only I could imagine. I wasn't expecting guests, so when I heard someone speak, I ended up twisting a statue around them before thinking. I looked and it was Wu. "What do you want?" I asked, putting it back. "I see you've mastered your powers." "Yeah, no thanks to you." I told him. Why did I split from the Alliance? I heard them talking about using my powers to end the war without risking anyone's safety but mine. I opened the door after I heard that and told them I was no longer a part of their damned alliance. Crux and Acronix helped you master it. I know. So, what did you want? I asked. I wanted to ask a favor of you. I scoffed. You lost that right when you and your brother schemed about using me and my powers to harm people. And before you say anything, the Serpentine are people. I have seen how they work and I refuse to hurt them. I told him. My brother suggested it. I was about to tell him you would never let that happen when you barged in. Oh, I had heard enough to know your plan. If not me on my own, you would have had me, Alder, and Ivar work together and alone to trap them. I refuse. Can you hear me out before denying? He asked. You have 20 seconds. I told him, pulling out my watch to keep track. We found a peaceful way of keeping the Serpentine from hurting innocent people. Kaleo found a snake charmer. His idea was if a flute works to charm a harmless common snake, maybe it could be used to charm a Serpentine. But that would take a kind of magic only you possess. He told me, what do I get in return? I asked, I'm not a part of your alliance. I don't work for free. I told him as I put my watch away. We will be in your debt dash. I want something guaranteed. Something I can get after you have your flute. What did you have in mind? He asked. Do you know what elemental vessels are? I asked. I do. They're objects in which the powers of an elemental master were held before humans gained those powers. He told me, find me the vessel of reality. I will make you multiple flutes, so multiple people can use them at once. I told him. And if I can't find it? He asked. Then you don't get anything from me. I told him. And what if Acronix had asked? Would you have made him pay for it? He asked. Of course. Maybe with something more easily obtainable, but a payment still would be required. I told him. I'll see what I can do. He told me. No vessel, no flutes. I told him as he left. I got back to forming my garden. When he came back, it was a few weeks later. He had a puzzle cube in his hands. That the vessel? I asked. It is. He handed it to me and I tried to get it to work. I solved it and it formed a sphere and anything it was waved over warped. I put it back, put it down, and found a few pieces of firewood that would work nicely and turned them into flutes, and after, I gave them to him. I made 4 of them. How do I know they work? He asked. I grabbed one and blew into it. It made a sound. And before you go, they can't be used for violence. They can't be used to force them to do anything. They can only be used to distract them. Understand? I asked. Yes, and a distraction is better than nothing. Thank you, he told me. And give this to Acronix for me. I told him, handing him a small box. I haven't seen Acronix in a while. It's a gift I got him ages ago, but forgot to give him. It's a watch he's had his eye on for ages, but couldn't get himself. So I got it for him. I'm sure he'll be surprised. When I was adding the finishing touch to my garden, I heard a familiar voice. You really made this area look alive. Acronix. I looked to see him admiring the space. Oh yeah, since my parents never did anything with this space, I thought I would turn it into a garden I have always wanted. I'm pretty sure I even created plants that wouldn't have existed otherwise. I told him. He came up to me and hugged me into him from behind. I leaned into him and looked up at him. I missed you. He told me. I missed you too. Did you get the gift I sent you? I asked. He held the box in front of us. I haven't opened it yet. I thought I would ask what the occasion was first. Well, I thought I would spoil you a bit 'cause I can. I told him. So I got you something I thought you'd like. He opened it and was surprised to see the watch he had been looking at for ages. How did you? He asked, hugging me a bit tighter. How did you get this? Easily. I saw that the shop still had it, so I got it for you. I told him, placing a hand on the side of his face, snuggled into my shoulder. You do know that I'm supposed to be spoiling you, right? He asked a sort of joke. Yeah, but it's not against the law for me to spoil you. I told him as I turned in his grip to face him and give him a kiss. So why did you leave the Alliance? He asked after he broke it. They were planning on using my powers to end things permanently, meaning no serpentine leaves unscathed. I will never harm a person who doesn't aim to kill. I told him. So I left so they can't use my powers for the wrong reasons. I should have guessed. And I'm guessing you're the one who gave them the flutes. Yeah, for a hefty price and with a lot of restrictions. I told him as I pulled out the vessel my powers originated from. I had Wu get this for me. It took him a few weeks, but still, you are devious. He told me, just be careful. It could mess with your powers like the Vessel of Time does with my and Crux's powers. I already used it a bit to test it out. It doesn't actually mess with my powers. Maybe the Time one messed with your powers because it's split between the two of you. I told him. Maybe, but still, be careful. He told me. I will. I told him. And why didn't you tell me it bore your parents dying? I only heard about it when it was in the newspaper. He told me. I didn't want to drag you into it. And they were killed. Another reason why I didn't want to drag you into it. And I'm your boyfriend and guard. It's my duty to be there for you. He told me. I'm kinda mad you didn't tell me. The killer could have been around the funeral, and if you were killed, I wouldn't have been able to live with myself. Sorry, but still. There's people in my family that would have killed you for dating me. I'm guessing they don't care if you're an Omega? Not one bit. Anyway, why don't we go inside? I asked. It's starting to get late. He agreed and we went inside. He still seemed worried. When will I get to meet the rest of your family? He asked. The day they stop expecting me to marry a woman. They will most likely try to kill you. I told him. And that's why Crux would join. So they think that we're both your guards, which is technically true, but still. He told me. I chuckled a bit. Maybe. I told him. When it was time for him to go back to the monastery, he hugged me. You may not be in the Alliance, but you can still visit. I really missed you. He told me. I'll try to visit sometime. I told him. And I missed you too. He kissed me and left. I really missed him. He's the only thing in the Alliance I miss. 8. It's been a few weeks since I started visiting Acronix at the monastery, and Acronix sometimes visits me. He's currently sparring with me, like we urged to do. It's fun. He doesn't have to hold back, and we can just be. Well, we were until I heard my uncle's voice. He thinks that every Omega should do as every Alpha says until they get marked. Then they should do what their Alpha says, with no free will, no need to do anything but cook and be a baby incubator. I hate him more than anyone in the world. When? What are you doing? He demanded. I froze a bit, and Acronix took the shot and knocked me off balance and put his sword beside my face. And that's why you don't let yourself get distracted, Acronix stated before helping me up. And my uncle grabbed me and took the helmet off of me. You know better than to wear this stuff. And you have guards for a reason. You don't need to wear it, nor do you need to wield this. That's for alphas. And that pissed Acronix off. He grabbed the helmet from him and placed it back on my head. And who are you to tell when what he can and can't do? Acronix asked as he put himself between me and my uncle. He's my uncle, mother's side. I stated. And my sister was insane to let you even be allowed to speak to your guards. He told me, stand down or get your ass kicked. One enjoys sparring and finds it fun. He told him. And as for you, you're paid to keep him safe from criminals and strangers. Not his own family. True. But considering I'm his boyfriend, it expands that list to anyone who tried to even touch him without his approval. If he were a woman dash, he pressed the dull metal practice sword against his stomach. Think about what you're about to say and make sure it's worth a nasty bruise and needing a medic for internal bleeding. Acronix told him, you're not a threat to me. If he were a woman, he should be pregnant by now. Since he's not, he should have a wife with her pregnant dash, and he was kneed in the stomach hard enough to knock the wind out of him and force him to double over. He grabbed him by the hair and forced him to look him in the face. Wen is now the master of this house. Treat him with the same respect you would give to an alpha. And considering he's my boyfriend, I will make you miserable if you try to undercut his authority on his own property. He told him before shoving his face in the dirt. And Omegas, male or female, can get pregnant and can be with whoever the fuck they want. I have the honor of being with him. Tell the rest of your family that if they cross him, they will have hell to pay. And he released him before kicking him. My uncle had it coming, to be honest. He had it coming for years. You're fired. My uncle told him like he was the one in control of their paychecks. We just laughed at that. You say that like you're the one paying him and his brother. I told him. And yeah, my property, my rules. And you're now banned from my property. He tried to run at us, and I created a portal to who knows where, and he ran through it. I closed it after. Surprising you're relating to scum like that. He told me. I'm surprised you didn't stop me. He's had it coming for years. I just regret not doing it myself. He gave me a look of disbelief. What did he? He tried having my parents marry me off a bunch of times. No one was interested, and my parents saw it as unethical, for starters. I told him. Not even my father, Lord Shitface of Time, was that bad. He told me. He actually had some respect for Omegas. And that reminds me, when do I get to meet your mother? I asked him. Once I tell her I'm dating the most adorable, kind-hearted, and badass Omega in Ninjago. He told me. Not sure if it's an excuse or a compliment. If that an excuse or a compliment? I asked with a chuckle. A compliment. He told me, hugging me into him. How about we take a break from sparring? I'm getting a bit sore. I told him. He agreed, and we went inside to relax a bit after putting the sparring equipment away. When we were just cuddling, he decided to ask me something. Hey, I was wondering, how come you haven't let me mark you yet? He asked, making me look up from my book. 'Cause it's never came up. I told him. Yeah, this is the first it's come up. He's tried to mark me during sex, but since he never asked, I never let him. Think I could mark you? He asked. Of course. You just had to ask. I told him, giving him a kiss on the nose. So I could have marked you by now if I asked sooner? He asked, kinda annoyed. Yep, but since you didn't ask, I didn't let you, thinking it was just you acting on instinct. I told him. Sorry for trying to be romantic. He muttered, pouting. Sorry for wanting you to ask first. I told him, pinching his nose a bit with a chuckle. You're lucky I love you. He told me. A polite way of saying, I don't have to put up with your bullshit. And so are you. I told him, kissing his cheek. He hugged me close to him. And I wouldn't have it any other way. He told me, capturing my lips in a deep kiss. Fuck, I love him. I could spend the rest of my life with him, and I would be happy as can be every moment with him. 9. It's been a while since the war between the Elemental Alliance and the Serpentine. I have been really happy with Acronix, and we're even expecting a child. He marked me a few months ago and got me pregnant a few weeks ago, and all is well. I'm currently hanging with Crux and Acronix at the monastery. They were having an Elemental Alliance meeting, and I'm too lazy to go home, and we just told Crux he's going to be an uncle. I'm going to be an uncle? You meaning you got him pregnant? Crux asked, probably wondering why I would let Acronix do such. And you let him? Crux asked, astonished. Yeah, I did. I say be thankful you guys line won't end with you Mr. No One's appealing. I told him, and Acronix snickered. I'm just wondering what you see in Acronix. He's him. Hey. He wasn't amused, like at all. What can I say? He's a chaotic dork who's surprisingly romantic. I stated as Acronix rested his head on my shoulder, hugging me around my waist. I'm just surprised. You could have had anyone you wanted, yet you chose my brother. Not a wise decision. And if you're expecting a child, that will mean he will have to grow up. Our kid is going to have a fun father. I told him. And that reminds me, I need to meet your guy's mother. She should know the mother of her grandchild. You haven't introduced him to our mother yet? Crux asked in disbelief. It never came up. Acronix stated, if it makes you feel better, we can introduce him to her tomorrow or after this meeting. Acronix told Crux. And what if she hates him? What will you do then? Tell her tough shit. Besides, if she would be worried about anyone, it would be you. Says the one who bounced between partners like it was musical chairs. At least I have experience and won't be dying a virgin. And I moved aside when Crux tackled his brother. Sometimes, it's best to let them fight it out. Sometimes it's best to intervene. This is a time to just let them fight it out. And Lana got to the courtyard. Are you going to stop them or? She asked. It's best to let them fight it out this time around. I told her. And don't kill him, Crux. What do you even see in Acronix anyway? She asked. He's a handsome, energetic, chaotic person who is surprisingly romantic. I told her. Also, the sex is good. Of course you would say that. And if they're twins, why not Crux? Why Acronix specifically? She asked. Because I'm awesome and he's not. Acronix stated as he got the best of Crux. You're both children. Lana told them as we sat down where they wouldn't go. So why did you leave the Alliance anyway? She asked. I didn't want to be used as a tool of destruction. I don't know about you, but I won't hurt innocent people. The Serpentine weren't innocent. She told me. The armies, no, but the ones not in the armies were innocent. I told her, and I wasn't going to be used to hurt them. I told her. So I left. Y'all are lucky I even gave you guys the flutes that I did. So how are things with you and Cliff? I asked. We got engaged. She told me happily. You should be my man of honor at our wedding. He's already got a best man lined up. That's awesome. I'm sure you two will live happily together. I told her. Anyway, anything new with you and Acronix or what? He marked me a while ago and I'm going to be meeting their mother later. You haven't even met their parents? Not yet, anyway. I told her. Have they met your parents yet? Yeah, they used to be employed by them. I keep forgetting you're some rich kid. She told me. And isn't it against their contract for one of them to date you? Nothing about that was in their contract. Besides, neither are obligated to guard me anymore. They're now my lover and brother-in-law. I told her. Technically, Crux won't be your brother-in-law until you and Acronix get married. She told me. Yeah, but still, it's easier to say than my mate's older twin brother, Dot. I told her. She chuckled a bit. True, it is a mouthful. And the others started filing in. And Older brought his kid. His wife must be busy today. And this meeting was advertised to just discuss the state of Ninjago since we live all across the continent and all that. Anyway, I went over to Alder and his kid wanted to be set down. She was no older than 5. She ran up to me. And who are you? I asked her as Alder came up to us. I had gotten down to her level. I'm Lily. Who are you? She asked. I'm Luen. I told her and she shook my hand. Lily, you can't run off like that. You could get lost. Alder told her. And I thought you left the Alliance, Luen? He was confused on why I was here. I came with Crux and Acronix cause I had nothing better to do today. I told him. And your daughter is adorable. He chuckled. She looks just like her mother. He told me as I stood up again. And how are things with Acronix? He asked, making sure his daughter wasn't running amok. Things are going well. He marked me a while ago and we're thinking about having kids. I told him. Just a warning for kids, they are a handful. Lily, don't put that in your mouth. And he picked his daughter up and she dropped a weed she was going to try to eat. I chuckled a bit. He brought her back and put her on his shoulders. I see what you mean. I told him, and I heard a crash, and we saw that Crux and Acronix were in a full-blown fight. And I better intervene before they kill each other. What was it about this time? He asked. Acronix said Crux would die a virgin. Again. I stated, looks like you have 2 children to look after as it is. He joked. I chuckled a bit and went to separate them. I used me powers to form a physical barrier between them. All right, that's enough. You two are acting like children. I told them, putting them in a headlock after they tried to go after each other's throats again. How is he this strong? Crux asked Acronix. You're not changing the subject. I told them. Behave yourselves for once, and I wouldn't have to treat you two like children. Crux tackled me. Acronix stated, I swear, these two will be the death of me. You two are going to be the death of me. I sat down on the porch with them still in a headlock. They sat as well and were bent over awkwardly. The meeting ended up commencing after everyone had settled down. Essentially, it was a time of peace. There were no current threats or anything that seemed dangerous in the near future, so we were told to enjoy our lives and to send a letter to report in. When me, Crux and Acronix got to their mother's place. Acronix knocked, and after a bit, a lady with long, graying black hair answered the door. She saw Crux and Acronix and gave them hugs. "About time you two came for a visit. I missed you too," she told them. "We missed you too, Mom." Crux told her, and she noticed me. "And who's this?" "Who's mate?" she asked, seeing the mark. "He would be Len, my adorable, badass mate." Acronix told her. "You let your little brother find a mate before you, Crux? I thought you said you would be the first for everything," she asked with a chuckle and ushered us in. "Come in, come in." Their mother is enthusiastic, to put it nicely. It kinda caught me off guard. "Now, how come you didn't bring him by sooner?" Their mother asked Acronix. "I kept forgetting to bring him by," he stated, kinda sheepishly, and Crux scoffed, a polite bullshit, and was glared at by Acronix. "And how did you meet him?" "When's the one we were paid to guard." Acronix grew attached, and now they're mates. Crux told her after Acronix struggled to explain it. "That little kid whose parents swore needed protection was you?" she asked me. "Yeah, and my parents were pretty overprotective at times. But if they weren't, I wouldn't have met Acronix." I told her. "So when are you going to find a partner?" "You can't wait forever. Soon enough your brother will have a big family while you're still single," she told Crux. "Once I find the right person, I will build a family with them. Until then, we'll wait and see," Crux stated. "And you're a little too accurate with predictions, Mother." "How so?" she asked. "Len's pregnant." We told Crux he's going to be an uncle already. Acronix told her as Crux looked through some books on a shelf. "Sure you're not an elemental master yourself, Mother? Your predictions tend to be far more accurate than even a prophecy." Crux asked. "Even if I was, the bloodline would be pretty thin by the time it got to me," she told us. "Well, in my family, the elemental power bloodline is pretty thin too, to the point of it skipping a generation. This kind of stuff doesn't tend to thin out. It's normally the wisdom of the power that gets thinned out," I explained. "And if it's not shown in one generation, it will show itself in the next. That, or I'm just good at predicting things. Also, you're fairly lucky you're unable to meet their father. He wouldn't have been very happy to hear one of his sons got with another man. And I was right about him being an abusive asshole." "How bad was he, if you don't mind me asking?" I asked. "He would beat me and Acronix for our failures, would beat Acronix if he fell behind academically, beat us both any time we looked at even a male Omega, and was an all-around bastard who deserved an unmarked grave. But Mother loved him, so we're stuck with him being in a marked grave. Knowing him, he would have come back as a ghost if he ended up in an unmarked grave. Then we would have had to deal with his bullshit for the rest of eternity." Acronix stated. They haven't actually seen their father's grave. I made sure they put down exactly what kind of man he was on it, but they don't want to even look at it. Sorry for not wanting to go to the grave of our shitty father. Acronix stated sarcastically. Which reminds me, become like your father, and I will make sure you get the same fate, she told Acronix. There's no way in hell that I'm going to end up like that son of a bitch. I'll protect my family no matter what. I nudged him. What? He asked. I can help too, you know. Not while you're pregnant. He told me, you keep the kids safe, and I'll keep you safe. He pulled me into him and kissed me cheek. And this is what I deal with when I visit them. Crux stated, kinda annoyed. You'll find someone you love too soon enough. Their mother told Crux before asking me a bunch of questions. She's nice, just a little weird. 10. Crux and Acronix make up a duo known as the Hands of Time. They can bend time to their will, stopping it, slowing it down, speeding it up, and turning it back. And with time comes reality. Time is obsolete without reality, and reality is obsolete without time. The hands of time, and I helped fight in the Serpentine War a few months ago, and now they wish to strive for greater things. They wish to gain control of the entire realm due to them controlling time and me controlling reality. They think that between the three of us, it would be an easy thing to accomplish. They promised that no innocent person would get hurt, just the adults who opposed us. Sadly, they got cocky, thinking that they didn't need my help. They could do so on their own. I was amused and decided to show them that I was their key to success by letting them fail on their own while I focused on taking care of my and Acronix's unborn child, making sure they stay healthy and are born being perfectly healthy. Acronix is happy about that and makes sure to spend as much time with me as possible to avoid stress. And today marks what they say is the final battle between them and the other elemental masters. They claim that none of them will be left after this battle. But that would mean Lily, Alder's daughter, would be without a father. Ray and Maya's kids would be orphans. Lana's unborn kid would die and leave her fiancé in pieces. Misako without anyone since Wu and Garmadon are all she has. And it will end up hurting more innocent people than what they said. So, I'm going to the monastery to hopefully snap them back to their senses. I managed to catch Wu and Garmadon at the stairs, a blade in each hand. What are you doing with those? You're not going to hurt them, are you? I demanded as I got in their way. We want to hurt them. Wu told me. These will just store their elemental powers, making them unable to be used after me dispose of these. Garmadon clarified, gently pushing me aside. I made a portal in front of them to keep them in a loop until I got the info I wanted. The blades are made of chronosteel. They're made just to defend while taking the elemental powers of time from Crux and Acronix, and that after the powers are stored, a time vortex should open, allowing the blades to become the problem of either the past or the future to deal with. I let them go and told them I would meet them up to get Crux and Acronix home afterwards. When I got through the gates, I saw that Crux and Acronix had been taken by the vortex and were gone. I turned to the nearest person and grabbed them, which happened to be Wu. I thought you said they wouldn't get hurt, that just their powers would be gone. Not them. I was shaking him while tears streamed down my face, feeling my heart shatter. We didn't know this would happen. There was no way of dash. Bullshit. I shoved him hard enough to make him lose balance. Bring them back. That's not how this works. Garmadon told me. I went up to him, and he grabbed my wrists when I tried to punch him. We don't know when or where they went. All we know is that they're lost to the time stream. That wherever and whenever they end up isn't up to us to decide. I'm sorry it had to end like this. We all are. But they were dangerous and dash. They were skilled warriors. What made them dangerous was their fucking egos. You couldn't have just kicked their asses and sent them away with deflated egos. I demanded. They would have killed us all. The only reason you weren't a target as well is because you're Acronix's mate. Wu told me. I yanked myself free from Garmadon. One of these days, you will all suffer for this. Every last one of you, I declared before leaving. On my way home, when I had no more tears to cry, I thought I saw Crux. But that's impossible, right? He was lost in the time stream. He saw me and came up to me. Have you seen Acronix? He asked as he grabbed my shoulders, and that's when the stabby broken feeling started to come back tenfold. I shook my head as I started crying again. He hugged me and I clung as I cried. My mate, the love of my life, the father of my child, is gone. We'll get him back one day, I promise. But for now, we need to make those responsible for the suffer. He told me having us get home. When we were deciding on who to make suffer first, I figured something out. Maya and Ray, they're blacksmiths. They're the only ones who would have been able to make the time blade. Maya and Ray, they made the time blades. They get to pay for it. I told him, but they have children. That would go against your dash. I don't care. They took someone I cared about. I'll take them away from those they care about. I told him, standing up. Take them from their kids, and I will make sure they have somewhere to go. He nodded, and when I received a letter stating he had Maya and Ray, I went to their place and saw their kids. The boy was about a year old, and the girl was only a few months old. They were outside in a playpen, playing with squishy, probably handmade, blocks. I picked them up and brought them inside, and after they were down for a nap, I found their documents. The girl was Naya and the boy was Kai. I decided to care for them until I got a hold of their relatives to see if any of them could take care of them. If they can, I will let them have the two. If not, I'll continue to care for them. 11. 20 years. 20 fucking years and still no sign of acronix. I lost contact with Crux once letters became obsolete and too expensive to send on a regular basis, so it's just me. What about my kid? She was a stillborn, the stress from losing my mate seemingly killing her. I still hate myself for letting myself get stressed over it. Anyway, I've mostly just been working as tour guide at Borg Tower in recent years, and when life becomes too much, I hide away back home until I'm ready to rejoin society. And this would mark the end of the tour. Please enjoy the gift shop and have a wonderful day. I stated in a fake sweet tone that could make even an android puke at how sickeningly sweet it is. How come the tour ends at a gift shop? A kid asked me, a teacher running up to him. That's very rude to ask. I'm sorry about that. These kids are still learning manners. He told me he was one of the ninja, just maskless. He was the Earth Ninja. It's fine, I get that question at least 10 times a day. And I turn to the kid. And it ends here because that's what my manager wants. And there's lots of candy to choose from. And he ran to the gift shop. And it's all sugar-free. I told the teacher, thank God. They're rudey enough as it is. He told me, I'm Cole. You. He asked, when? I told him. We use last names to make it impossible for kids to use our first names out of petty spite. And how come you're a teacher and not being a ninja? I asked, trying to be funny. Because someone has to teach the former Darkly students how to be decent human beings. He told me, chuckling a bit. And who better than the people who keep Ninjago safe? Apparently. How come you're a tour guide? Because it lets me talk mindlessly and the pay is better than you'd think. I told him as I checked my Borg pad to see if I had any other tours scheduled for today and none left today. Have any hobbies? He asked. I like to garden in my spare time. You? I asked. I know he's flirting. I'm not oblivious. But if acronix really is gone, I might as well try to move on, if not for anything, for the sake of my mental health. I like to dance. He stated. He's a pretty big guy, so that surprised me. He saw my face and chuckled. And yes, I've heard all the jokes. Have any to add? He asked. Imagining someone of your build dancing is like imagining a bear doing ballet. I stated, chuckling a bit. Okay, that's a new one. I've got to remember that one. And my Borg pad dinged. I looked and I was called into a meeting. It was nice chatting, but I was called into a meeting. I told him, showing him that I wasn't just trying to get out of a conversation. How about we go get coffee together sometime? He asked. Sure. When and where? I asked. How about tomorrow afternoon at a cafe near here? Sounds good. See you then. I told him and went. My heart was screaming at me that it was wrong, that acronix could still be alive, that I shouldn't try to move on, but if I don't, I might go insane. It will help keep me from Miss Synth Acronix too much. When I was about 10 floors away from Cyrus' office, someone I thought I would never see again entered. Long fluffy brown hair tied back with a ribbon, beautifully tan skin, extravagant eyebrows, and a height only Acronix possessed. He looked up from his Borg pad to press a button only to see it was already pressed. His face went right back into it, focusing on something, or trying to at least. And the more I stared at him, the more I realized it really was Acronix. Acronix? I asked, hardly believing it. He looked up, and when he saw me, he dropped his Borg pad and hugged me. When? How are? When did? Fuck. I hugged him back, happy to finally be in his arms again. The broken, empty feeling going away, like it was never there to begin with. I missed you so much. I told him. I missed you too, babe. Wait, how are you not an old man like Crux? You were here the entire time. I'm the master of reality. I make the rules. And since time vanished from my life, it wasn't difficult to stop my aging. I told him, feeling myself start to cry. And we were 3 floors away. We can catch up later. I told him, wiping my tears away. How about over dinner? It's been ages since we went on a proper date. He told me as he picked up his Borg pad. I nodded. I'd like that. And the elevator opened up at our floor. As we walked out, Acronix spoke. Why the sudden need for a tour guide meeting? All tour guides have Borg pads to help keep track of meetings, to have access to information the public would be asking about, and so we can write names down of troublesome people to put them on the No More Tours list, as Cyrus calls it. I call it a ban list or a blacklist, to check how things are going in your respective sides of it. He told us, it's going good. Some big shots tend to bring their entitled brats, and that's about it. Can I go now? Acronix asked. Go into a little more detail than a vague reply. When? He asked, knowing my reports are never vague. We get mostly school tours. The kids can be okay, but a few are awful. The teachers can be worst at times due to me being younger than them. They think I have no right to tell them to not touch something that could break very easily or could hurt them very easily. But today's tours were fine. I was given 3, 2 school field trip tours, and 1 for a family of entitled rich people who claimed I knew nothing about what I was talking about when I work here and have access to all the information I'm talking about. I stated, the last school tour went well. The students get a lot of questions, as did the teachers. He turned to Acronix, who pouted before giving a vague report that was a little more detailed than it was before. And the women of each group have a nasty habit of trying to grope and hang off of me like I'm their boyfriend. It's annoying, especially since they complain about me after for not letting them. I see. When? Do you have any similar problems? Not really. A teacher or 2 might flirt once or twice a month, but won't lay a hand on me, and it's not that big of a problem since they give up after I make it clear I'm not interested in working. He nodded. Looks like I have to make it clear that tour guides aren't for sexually harassing the guests. Thank you for the reports. Have a wonderful rest of your day. He told us. I nodded and went back to the elevator, and Acronix followed. It's nice to have Acronix back. Once we were back in the elevator and going to the first floor, where the staff room for office staff and tour guides is, Acronix had me face him and gave me a kiss. I happily kissed him back, and when he broke it, he decided to ask me some questions. How's our kid doing? How old are they? He asked, seemingly excited. She was a stillborn. I mumbled. She would be 20 as of last month if she survived. We had a daughter? I nodded. Did you name her before she was buried? I named her Ava, after her great-grandmother. I told him. She's buried in the garden I worked hard on. I figured she would have loved to spend her childhood there, so that's where I had her buried. I was trying not to cry. He hugged me into him. I'm so sorry. I should have been with you, not fighting in a petty war. He told me, it's not your fault. I told him quietly as he fought back tears. And now that I have you back, we could try again. But our first. It wasn't her time. I wish it was, but it wasn't. I told him. He held me close until we were a floor away from the first floor with me rubbing his back. When we were walking to a place to have dinner, we started catching up. He told me about him and his brother getting revenge on the elemental masters and how Crux hated new things. Oh, I know about his hatred. I lost contact with him once letters became obsolete and too expensive to send on a regular basis. I told him. I even suggested a stupid little flip phone that can barely be counted as new technology since they came out shortly after Crux started his plotting. Right? A flip phone wouldn't kill him to have. I swear he's more like our father than he cares to admit. He was stubborn too? I asked. If G got into an argument with a bull, the bull would give up first. He told me. That's how stubborn he was. And it's a patently genetic. Probably why he likes the museum. It's pretty tech-free. Probably. But one of these days, he's gonna realize it's easier to use modern tech. Which reminds me, how do you like modern stuff? He asked. If it makes my life easier, I'm all for it. Really? You don't hate it like Crux does. He asked. We have known each other for ages. You know how lazy I can be. The easier something is, the better when it comes to tech. Nowadays, instead of writing out a letter, paying for a stamp and postage, and sending it and waiting a few weeks to hear back, I can text someone and hear back instantly. I have no idea why Crux hates it. It's great. And do you still train? He asked, referring to fighting. When I have time during the week. I told him. And since I got into contact with Ashley's kid, I've been training him like you and Crux trained me. He's a little defensive, but a good kid. Wait, Ms. Cocky Shadow Chick has a kid. He asked. Yeah, his name's Shane, but since he thinks he's edgy, you know, like his mom, he likes going by Shade. I told him, and he chuckled. Oh, that's funny. And did Amelia have a kid? Or did she remain single? He asked, referring to the old elemental master of smoke. Yep. Her kid's name is Ash, and he's dating Shane. They met when Shindash and Acronix groaned a bit. Don't tell me. Tried to pit them against each other to gain elemental powers for himself. Good guess. But all in all, the two hit it off almost instantly and started dating when they got back to the mainland from the island Shin was banished to. Not sure if the other elemental masters had kids, but the ones I know for sure are Lana, Alder, Maya and Ray, Garmadon, Amelia, and Ashley had kids. Lana had a kid? When? He asked. A long while ago. She had a daughter named Julia. I told him. He had a face of confusion. But the current elemental master of lightning is a brat named Jay. He told me. She didn't have another? No. I would have been one of the first people to know. I'm gonna have to find this kid and ask him how he got his powers. That or find Cliff and question him. But the guy faked his own death about a year ago and has been impossible to find since. How do you know he faked his own death? He sent me a letter without a return to address detailing that he was wanting to be a normal old man for once, so he was going to fake his own death and live somewhere small and peaceful under a different name. I'm sure I can find him. It's just going to be a pain in the ass to do so. I told him. So what all have you been doing these past years? He asked. Not as much as you would think. Just maintaining my family home, working, training Shane occasionally, and hiding away from the world on occasion. And there's the few arguments with Crux where I tried to convince him to just get a fucking flip phone and that it wouldn't kill him. He chuckled a bit. We should team up on Crux and force him to get one. If only it were that easy. I have been trying to convince him to get one since they were brand new. He's been refusing for years. Why we should team up in him? You two have been aging at the exact same rate, so we can make the argument of you being fine with it and you being just as old as he is. But you two are 5 years older than me. He would use that to debunk the argument. And the fact that I was raised to be a lazy, spoiled, rich kid despite me begging for years to join you two when you two trained since we met. I never said it would be easy, but if we wear him down, we could get him to use a flip phone. This is why I love talking with Acronix. It's always fun and never boring. And fuck, I missed him so much.